Hey guys, Hook to Clash here, and today we're going to do our third rendition of the Abnormal Army sort of series that we've got going on. So the army I chose this week was Bat Lalo. This was one of your suggestions, and for those who haven't seen Bat Lalo, it's essentially like a Sui Lalo where, you have to deal with the CC on the fly. And instead of like zapping like the CC, what you'll end up doing is often bat bombing like a scatter or using a bat wave to take out all the back end defenses of the base. And you kind of try and Lalo all the splash, which sounds very counterintuitive, I know, but honestly, this is one of the highest skill attacks in the game, and you don't really see it from a lot of pro players just because it's so inconsistent. And that's one of the things I found with it today. For the record, before we start this, I've never done Bat Lalo before. Obviously, like last week, I haven't done Mass Super Witches before, but it's very intuitive, whereas this army was very difficult, and we're going to talk about that here. So we're going to get straight into the first army here. I'll give you the 30 seconds quickly so we can kind of talk about what army composition we're dealing with here. As we can see, the troops here, it's actually the exact same composition I bring for the Zap Lalo. The only thing that's actually different though is, sorry about that, I always do that. The only thing that's different is actually the spells here. We're just bringing the sort of spells for a Sui Lalo. So you've got the Zap and the Poison to deal with the CC. You've got 3 Freezes, 3 Haste, and 5 Bat spells. And the Freezes are the most interesting part of this army because you want to use it for the Lalo, but a lot of the time you want to use it for the Bat Bomb as well. Now this was one of the first attacks I did, the Bat Lalo. I think it was my second of the day. So at this moment, I'm not very good with it, and you will see that in this attack, but this base, which is a very common base, I'm sure you've all seen like variants of it, is actually a horrible base to hit with Bat Lalo, and this is why. When you're suing for Bat Lalo, one of the things I learned is you want to sui for either a scatter shot or the town hall. And look on this base, it is literally impossible for me to sui that. I had to force my king to break through a wall to be able to wall break into the single, but look, the queen doesn't go in anyway, and I've set up a horrible funnel. Like literally, this is the worst possible funnel for this attack. Look, there is absolutely no Lalo pathing left on this base. And obviously, that's one of the downsides of this attack. You've run into a lot of bases like this with ridiculously high core damage. And if you can't sui a scatter or the town hall, you're kind of stuffed for this, honestly. There is instances where it can work, and I will show you that attack at the end. But like, just imagine Laloing through, because you can't bat bomb the town hall area, obviously. Imagine Laloing through that square in the core. That's just horrible to Lalo. And on top of that, there's a bunch of wizard towers here, 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 and here, all spread around the base nicely. So if I wanted to bat wave, even that would be difficult. We do give this a go here. Obviously, you're not going to quit halfway through an attack just because the Sui goes poorly. As you can see, the baby drag comes out of the CC here. We freeze the scatter and the baby. It's not too bad a CC though. It's just a wizard and a baby drag. I don't know if we'll see it today, but I can tell you there were some CCs with a bunch of headhunters in it, and I got to practice putting some lightning spells down. I didn't really know what to do with my RC, so I used her on the right hand side and tried to damage the queen with the zap and actually missed. Then the queen just absolutely nukes my RC, and we can all see at this point that this attack has gone horribly wrong. I'd like to think of myself as a pretty reasonable with Lalo, and this still went horribly. We just bat wave up the top because I'm pretty sure that arch tower was the only defense I could get down that wasn't tanked by splash defenses. So man, that was a rough base. It was probably the roughest base I got on the day, but it just shows one of the shortcomings of that attack. So the next attack we will jump into, sorry, it will take a second to find some of these, is this one. And this was the first time I got properly close on a base. And you're probably looking at this base going, there is 1, 2, 3 multis and an air bow. How the hell did he nearly triple this with Bat Lalo? And honestly, I agree. This is arguably the worst possible base to get for this. You don't want multis, A, for the Lalo, and B, even more so for the bats. So let's see what I come in with here. I do get a bit fortunate in this raid. I'm more than happy to admit that. But anyways, let's watch what I do. Come on, Hooked. There you go. There's the RC, and then the king straight behind, and this RC is basically just going to be used to get this scatter shot, and already that will be heaps of value. Like I said, you always want to sui for either a scatter or the town hall with all your heroes. But if you can get it with just one of your heroes, that's perfect. I get the zap there. I do miss one headhunter, but we've still got the poison, and the queen gets rid of that headhunter quickly. So this is why you bring the poison and the zap, because if you do see a lot of these witch headhunter CCs, and the witches are annoying, and you do need the poison for it. And the zap's kind of nice anyway. As we saw in the last attack, I just used it to zap like a single and the queen. Like, it's a good utility spell. It's kind of like the freeze spell for these attacks. Like, you're never going to have like a wasted spell as a zap. Obviously, there'll be better ones, but it's not like having two poisons, right? Where you know you won't need both of them. But yeah, look at this Sui. We get a little lucky that the queen's going to go in here because such a good funnel was made by the king and the ice golem. But look where this queen goes after this. It gets even better. So she's going to go and get this elixir collector. Bam, that goes down. And I'm pretty sure she gets this eagle in the core. She's got queen ability, so you think she'd have to. Yep, there she goes. Really nice Sui. Scatter, an enemy hero, and a multi. Like, yes, please. We'll take that every day. And then, obviously, we're going to Lalo, because this sweeper's facing this way. We're going to Lalo into the multis, because, yeah, we can't bat bomb these multis. But the biggest thing you want to do for this attack, and why this is such a bad army for Legends some of the time, is it's really hard to figure out where to bat bomb on the fly. I'm honestly just kind of treating it like a Sui Lalo, and seeing if I could save a free spell or two for the back end to bat bomb it. Oh, did I accidentally drop two freezes on the left-hand side? I think I double freezed. I did not mean to do that. Or maybe my ice golem died. Either way, that's unfortunate. Because you're going to see here, I needed those... I needed the one more freeze here. So as soon as that wizard tower is tanked by the loons, I start bat bombing the wizard tower. But an air bomb pops. It's just worst case scenario. I should have just been more patient and waited. But look, the bats are still spawning. 5 bat spells is quite a lot. And they are going to clear the rest of this base. That hound is doing a great job on the wizard tower there. And these bats are going to clear out the rest of the base. But the one downside is look at all these buildings left up. Yes, I've taken out all the defenses and there's a bunch of loons left, but if there's one thing bats aren't good at, it's taking out storages, and all my pups on the left hand side died to the royal champion, which is still somehow up. I don't quite know how, but anyways, as you can see with this attack, it can be strong, but honestly, the stronger part of that attack wasn't the bats. The bats helped on the back end, but I don't think they helped more than 5 spell space that was dedicated to, I don't know, a zap, or a set of zaps, or maybe more haste and freeze. I think they would have done a better job. Even a heal. If I heal on that back end, and saying that, the bats did better cleanup than the loons did, so there's a bit of back and forth on that. The next attack we are looking for is this one here, and yeah, this base is not good for this attack. You can just have a look at it now, and it doesn't take long to realize how bad this base is for this sort of attack. Yet again, 3 multis, 3 air bows. Very hard to... You can sweep the town hall, but you can't get it with power thing, and very hard to get a scatter shot. And the downside of suing the town hall is obviously you have to deal with the CC whilst you're dealing with the town hall, and you kind of want to deal with the CC either when there's no damage on your heroes, or very late in your Sui, or on the fly, honestly. Anyways, I send all 3 heroes in here because I want to get this scatter shot, and potentially my queen can reach the eagle here. Thankfully, the RC goes for the scatter. I just have to pop her ability there. I was trying to save it till she took that down, but she gets through that CC just fine. It's not too bad a CC. Unfortunately, my queen only gets like 1 or 2 hits off on the eagle. The eagle's on the hound, but is going to hit my loons, which is pretty rough there. But these multis are so strong versus the Lalo. I lost so many loons early on, and as you can see, my final loons at the top side were like 25 years too early here. And then the plan was to bat bomb this scatter, because look, if I got that multi at the top and the wizard tower as well, bat bombing that scatter is really solid. And honestly, like, it doesn't look close at all, but if that bat bomb goes well, it can clear a lot of that back end as well. But the Lalo wasn't very good, and consequently the rest of the attack wasn't. I mean, this is a brutal attack. That's the simplest thing I can tell you about this attack today, is it's one of the most brutal attacks. If you do one thing wrong, you fail for sure. Anyways, we will go into the final attack I will show you all today. And as you can see, it was a triple. This was my final hit with it in the day. And you're probably looking at it going, hooked. You told me if there's a scatter, if there's scatters and town hall in the core, this is a bad attack. Plus 2 air bows and spread wizard towers. This must be a bad attack. Or bad base to attack. You're absolutely correct. But sometimes Sui Lalo is strong enough, even if you have 5 spells that you don't really need. In saying that, I will add the bat spells were highly clutch in this attack. And the bat spells, in my opinion, would have actually been a lot better than any other spells that I could have brought for this. So this here is going to be the best showcase for the bat Lalo that we're going to see here. Just waiting for me to start off. It takes a while to plan this hit, honestly. And that's the one thing I'm going to leave you all with, even before we start this, is that you need to be very good at Sui Lalo before you start trying this. And you also, like, even if you are good at Sui Lalo, it doesn't mean you're going to be good at this attack, because this attack is so much harder than any other attack in the game. It's set for Sui Lalo, really, because they're kind of the same thing. But anyways, we're not focusing on this hit here. I used the RC and an Ice Golem to trade for the enemy RC and take out a few defenses to set up this Sui into the bottom here. It's actually nice getting the Eagle down with this attack. Obviously, it's not like splash defenses, but because like the Eagle can target the bats as well, and if it does, it's GG. It's always nice getting it down. But I wanted my Queen to go for one of these scatters, but she's not actually going to get either of them, unfortunately. I was hoping she'd walk up, but I think our wall broke a little too low. This king goes to the outside like an absolute potato, but I guess it helps me out in the end. As you can see, we still haven't dealt with the CC. We're just chilling at the moment. I mean, you get so much more value out of your Sui when you don't Sui near the CC. Anyways, we're going to speed up 2 times through this. Look how quick this attack goes from here, by the way. This Lalo happens really quickly. I popped the Queen there. Maybe I should have popped a freeze here. I don't know. As we can see, the Inferno Drag comes out, and I see Headhunters run to the bottom. So I poison the Inferno Drag. I don't know if I zap these Headhunters, if I see it or not. Do I? Nope, I probably don't, because my Warden's about to take some serious damage. Anyways, the Blimp's coming in, and then look at this. You can freeze both of the splash defenses here. I do lose a few bats to the scatter, but the bats take out the first wizard tower, and look, just as this freeze comes off, they take down the scatter. The scatter's not aiming at the bats here, then it aims at the bats, but I lose a few there, but it just gets over the scatter, which is majorly clutch. As you can see, most of my Lalo has died, but there is a bunch of bats up. With the freezes, not many of them have died. The Drag and the Warden take out the Queen, and now we have really good cleanup troops. So honestly, I don't think I could have tripled that with the Lalo. The Lalo pathing there was super ugly, but those bat spells, I didn't plan to use them there at the start, but it made a lot of sense to help the Lalo pathing, and we swag a haste spell. I couldn't believe I tripled this, honestly. I posted in clan chat and actually made Lex show it on his stream just because I thought it was that cool, but his stream chat seemed to think it was lucky, so that's yeah, that's kind of sad. Anyway, so at the conclusion of the day, it wasn't today, although look how much better I'm doing today than I was with this. At the conclusion of the day, we got 213. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. At the conclusion of the day, we got 213. As you can see, our first 4 attacks were really rough, but then our last 4 attacks, we had 2 time fails, a triple, and that 67 I showed on stream was the triple multi really spread out base. That's obviously not a good base to hit. So like, you're probably thinking, well, it's pretty low number, like it can't be that good. He can't rate it that highly. Well, let's have a look here. We'll get the doc up. As you can see, Fat Lalo 213. It's actually the lowest number in there. And it's the lowest number of triples as well. But one redeeming factor is the starting trophies. We're in the top 100 in top 50 in Australia before today, whereas those other ones were late in season and at 5k, so it is a lot easier there. So you're probably thinking, what do I rate it? I'm going to rate it a 5. Yes, I know it's got less trophies than the Mass Super Witches, so it can't be that good. But honestly, like once I got the hang of this, I felt like I could triple. Like it is just a Sui Lalo with bats instead. I felt like it had a chance on a lot of the bases towards the end of it. But the reason it's only a 5 is the biggest downfall of this is the huge, the large amount of skill you need to pull off this attack. It's as tough an attack in the game as it gets, and I could practice this for a whole month in Legends and still not be consistently tripling with it by the end. It's probably not something I'd ever use in war either, but I mean, there was some attacks today where it went well and some where it absolutely didn't. Let me know what you think of the rating. Did I rate it a little too high? It was 4 or 5 for me, but I decided to be nice to it because I did actually enjoy playing with it, whereas the Super Witches we didn't really enjoy anywhere near as much. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate all the support, and hopefully I see some of you soon.